All this extreme festival action from Dezzi's Raceway is proudly brought to you by Engen, G&H Transport, Speed and Sound Magazine, and Look Oil. Dezzi South Coast Raceway for the very first time. National Championship Racing makes its way down to a brand new circuit, and what an incredible job they've done here. It's brought out the crowds, and that's exactly what we expected in KwaZulu-Natal. They are extremely hungry for this kind of racing. As always, a big show being put on by Dezzi and the Drifters. So what this circuit started out with, we're going to start things out with the national production cars. Coming into this round, the championship is still very much wide open, and Michael Stephen will be looking to take on the likes of Henny Groenewald and Gennaro Bonafide in similar S4 Audis. Gary Formato makes a welcome return to national production cars, and Charles Smallberger, after that massive accident, has got his car sorted out and will be looking to get to the front end. In qualifying, though, it was all about Michael Stephen, and he went and put the Engen Extreme Audi on the Engen Extreme Day on pole position. Henny Groenewald pushed him hard, as did Gennaro. They had to settle for second and third. First of the front-wheel drives was Graham Nathan in the Volkswagen GTI, with massive problems for Simon Moss after a brake issue forced him off the circuit. We caught up with Henny Groenewald to find out what his plans were for the day.
Essentially, I think we got the second on the grid to start off with. Michael seems pretty quick, so we'll just have to see how the race pans out. You know, it's pretty tight around here, so finding a way past I think is going to be pretty difficult and interesting, but yeah, looking forward to the race.
I wonder if Michael Stephen's looking forward to the race just as much as Henny was.
Yesterday we showed good pace in practice and managed to convert that into a pole position, which is absolutely great. Very challenging around the circuit, difficult to overtake, so you know it can only be good for the race, and you know, hopefully we can bring off the win.
So a brand new circuit now, and just some final adjustments to these cars to get them to their optimum performance levels. It's time to go racing. Let's bring the cars to the line. We line up for race number one. Joining me in commentary will be Robert Portman as they head down towards turn one. It's Audis 1, 2, and 3. Look out for Nathan coming for fourth place and just beating his teammate through turn one. Look how tight it is through there.
Yeah, turn one really is a tight left-hander, so good to see everyone's made it through here over the hill into this right-hander. You can see the drivers really have to fight that steering wheel to hold it on line.
Simon Moss eventually sneaking through there, but battling. Remember, he's got to come right from the back of the pack. His teammate leads things out, though, trying to keep the two Sassel Audis at bay. Formato has snuck through. Moss is on his tail. Leading Class X, it's Mark Totoy. Ryan Kwanchai right on his tail, and Smallberger pushing hard.
I love this, Greg. We're going to see later on in the day the drifting cars, but you can see these production cars already drifting these big cars all over the circuit. But that man, Michael Stephen, was the only driver to dip under the 1 minute 20-second mark with a 19 in qualifying, so really the man to beat here.
And he looks like he's getting down into those times right from the word go. Remember, from a rolling start, it's going to be a little bit higher up in terms of the timing. But now, speaking of timing, up, over, and into this very, very tricky section. This is the southern loop of Dezzi's Raceway. It's a tight triple right-hander, and then you flick it over into an almost 45-degree left-hander with a massive bump on the inside.
Graham Nathan, he's in fourth place at the moment. Looks like he's got some good pace, but to get past those Audis is going to be a challenge, because this track, you really have to be spot on and precise with your lines to get the fast lap times.
Get the fast lap times, but to make overtaking maneuvers is going to be even more difficult. There are not many opportunities, and as you can see, Gennaro Bonafide is already looking for an opportunity to sneak through on his teammate. That might be one if he can just get inside, but not easy to do as you go through the corkscrew. Watch how busy he is here in the cockpit with Gennaro.
You can see him really trying to find every single way he can past that man, but Michael Stephen, while these two are battling for second and third, he's now pulling a gap there in first place. As we look further down, that's car number 33, that's Mark Totoy in another Audi further down the field.
Leading Class X at this stage, Totoy ahead of Kwanchai, Smallberger, and yours truly. As they come down into the dam section, there is massive pressure being applied here by Bonafide and by Nathan. The two motorsport boys from Volkswagen and Audi are going at it, and the in-house little stable fight there with the Volkswagen products are definitely being seen here in full effect at Dezzi's Raceway.
We go on board here with Henny Groenewald, and you can see him looking in his rearview mirror. He's got his teammate all over him. He's trying to make that Sassel Racing Audi as wide as possible around this Dezzi track, not to let him through.
Looks like Nathan lost a little bit of ground there on that lap and wasn't quite on the same song as what he was earlier on. His teammates going well. Smallberger all over the back of Formato. Gary Formato making a welcome return is now holding up and doing a great job of keeping Smallberger out. This is Simon Moss's point of view as he crosses the line, heading down towards turn 1. And Moss now making up massive ground because he had to start right at the back of the pack.
Yeah, not the day Simon Moss was hoping for. His teammate is out front and pulling away from the rest of the field. So Moss not... And it looks like we've lost Bonafide.
Bonafide has gone there. Rob's already jumped in. There he is, pulling onto the sideline. So problems there for Gennaro Bonafide, and looks like it could be big terminal ones.
Front left, something's broken.
Well, they're here at front left, and something's broken from Gennaro himself. So that's him out of race number 1. 2 more races to go today. Hopefully they get that car sorted out.
Ryan Kwanchai and his BMW running in 8th place there, so a little bit further down the field. But look at this now, out front. That's yours truly, Greg Maloney in the little mini there. But he's now been left as we look at Michael Stephen now coming into turn 1. Really has dominated this race. Flag to flag victory, it looks like it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's basically what this track is all about. Very difficult to find overtaking opportunities. You've got to be right up and close, like we saw between Bonafide and his teammate. Unfortunately, Bonafide out, which has left Henny Groenewald to now fend off Graham Nathan. Nathan will definitely be looking for opportunities to get past on Groenewald.
And that could be one place he could do it. If he just lets his car drift and he's going to have to stick it on the inside, a real block pass, there's going to be contact. But that is the only way you can pass at this Dezzi track. It's that tight. But Nathan does look like he has a little bit extra pace.
Let's see if he's able to use it now in the second half of the final lap as they come down into the double right-hander. These guys are already heading into the dam section, and looks like Nathan is going to have to settle for third. He's not going to beat Groenewald, and they're definitely not going to catch Michael Stephen.
Oh, Michael Stephen, it's just been a race of nothing but control. He's out front. He has looked so smooth, picking his line, choosing his lines, great drive all the time. Second and third are actually closing that gap, but I think that's Michael Stephen just honing off as he's going to come to the line and pick up this race number 1 win.
Great effort on the Engen Extreme Day. The Extreme Audi taking the first victory in National Production Cars comes across beating out the Sassel Audi of Henny Groenewald and Graham Nathan in the Volkswagen GTI. Confirmation of those results there. Stephen from Groenewald and Nathan from Otto beating Smallberger. Then it was Moss, Mark Totori winning Class X ahead of Ryan Kwanchai. Let's find out from Bonafide what actually went wrong.
Lap 4-ish, lap 5. Going into turn 2, as I hit the brakes, just snapped a steering arm bolt. So that was the end of my race. You know, it's a rough track. I think even throughout yesterday, I said to Vic, the engineer, I said, you know, it feels like the car's taking a hammering every lap. You know, you're really pushing the boundaries of the car in terms of mechanical sympathy. So one of those things, you know, it's racing. We'll have to use this as one of our drops again. Another 0 point sets us back a bit, but this is racing.
Much better effort at the front end, and Michael Stephen taking the first victory.
Good start, managed to get into the front and open a bit of a lead on the first lap. And from there I just pushed, you know, right to the end, you know, try to keep that gap, and you know, it's not easy out there. You know, there's no room for error on this track, and just managed to put 8 laps on the trot and pull home a victory. So looking forward to the rest of the day.
Reverse grid now for race number 2. That's going to make for very interesting racing. Simon Moss should be on pole, and we've already seen what an Engen Extreme Audi can do from pole position. But first, let's get onto the grid and meet some of the fans here in KwaZulu-Natal. The big boss of Engen, very happy with the performance of his driver so far. Brad Berg will be looking for another victory now, possibly out of the second driver, Simon Moss. Drop the hammer time, Rob. Here we go down towards turn 1, and Moss gets the whole shot. Looks like Graham Nathan around his outside. No, Charles Molenberger just coming through there to beat out Formato, and look at the pressure already being applied.
Yeah, we've already seen after race number 1, not easy to pass around this track, so you really have to pick your moves very carefully. But Simon Moss, he had a little bit of pace in race number 1 coming from the back of the grid. He now reverses and starts at the front, so it's up to him to keep all the rest behind him.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to do that, I can tell you. Speak from experience, because to try to keep out Class X wasn't easy from pole either. Smallberger leads out the Class X as we come through, back on board with Bonafide, and Bonafide looks like they've got that car sorted out. Well done to the VMR team.
Yeah, he really needs to pick it up in race number 2. Had a disaster. He was right up at the front and then had those problems, unfortunately, but he needs championship points because this is going down to the wire as you see them come through that long right-hander, and then it's nothing but horsepower. Graham Nathan had a great turn of pace in race number 1, but just couldn't make the pass.
Now looking for an opportunity to get past on Formato. If he can get through on Formato, his teammates just up the road, they might work together because Nathan still has a chance of wrapping things up in this National Production Cars. As As we go through here, check this out. Bonafide all over the back of Michael Stephen, and yet again can't find a way through.
Simon Moss already putting a little bit of a gap, so this is exactly what he wants to see. Clear road in his rearview mirrors. There's nothing better than when you come across the line and you already see that you're pulling a gap. And like I said, it's not easy to pass, so it's only going to... Oh, look at Ryan Quanchai in the BMW fighting it coming onto the front straight.
That Z4 was very, very much out of shape there, but well held, Ryan Quanchai. Now late on the brakes, up the inside of the Shield GTI. Gets through on George Smallberger and takes the lead of Class X. Here comes Mark Dutoy. Possibility of Smallberger losing it. Not only second, but also third place.
So much for not easy to pass. Ryan Quanchai made that look so easy. He just let the brakes go and made that move on the inside. Block pass, nowhere for the other driver to go. So that's the kind of move that these drivers further in the field are going to have to look at doing. Formato there, he's got some Audis right on his tail.
He's got problems. I can tell you something, because Nathan's got through on him, and now the Audis are going through 1, 2, and possibly 3. Formato definitely with an ailing car, and there you go, Michael Stephen. He's battling with brakes by the looks of things, so unable to keep out the 3 Audis. Henny Grunewald is now stuck ahead, and he moves up just behind Graham Nathan. He's got Michael Stephen on his tail, and then it's Bonafide behind them.
Henny Grunewald did a great job in race number 1, keeping those other Audis behind him, but he's got Michael Stephen and his teammate Bonafide laying the charge down. They really are putting in some impressive laps and closing down on the Sassel Audi man.
Speaking of closing down, Nathan is all over Smallberger now. Can Charles soak up this pressure? It's not going to be easy. The big man will not make it easy for you no matter what. And in fact, up into turn 1, he's got the inside line. Is Charles going to give him some room? He is! Wow, that's impressive. Charles Smallberger playing the team game there and allowing Nathan through. Great stuff from the youngster.
I think Smallberger also looked at that and thought, I don't want to repair another car. That's Formato. Looks like Formato has eventually parked. And look at this. The Audis are going at it, hammer and tong.
Oh, loving this. Michael Stephen forcing Henny Grunewald into a slightly different line as they came into the hairpin. Now they go down the hill into the double right-hander. Grunewald's got the inside line, should have what it takes on the brakes, and does.
Oh, what an amazing move. They really lined it up, got great drive, parked it on the inside. Nowhere for that man, Michael Stephen, to go.
Well, let's see if Michael Stephen can find another way, because his teammate is getting away at the front end and actually disappearing from everybody. No one's going to catch Simon Moss, not when he's in this kind of form, but it's kind of indicative of what the circuit can do. If you're on pole and you're able to make your car wide, no one's going to get through.
I saw the look in Simon Moss's eyes as he was on the grid. He really wanted to make amends for what has so far been a terrible day. Picking up this race number 2 win, that'll go a long way to getting more points in the championship. Oh, sideways stuff from Bonafide coming onto the main straight. Awesome racing.
Would have loved to see the onboard of that. He was completely lit up coming onto that main straight, and of course he hit the bump, which put the car completely out of shape. Well held. There is Simon Moss, and you can see the gap that he's got now over Graham Nathan, who's up to second place. Incredible drive here from the big guy. As always, he is going to be the man to beat, because he's already got the overall victory pretty much in his hands. This is the final lap. Oh, and Grunewald runs wide. That is going to open up an opportunity to Michael Stevens. Stevens on his inside. He's on the inside of this turn this time and returns the favor on Henny Grunewald.
You can see Grunewald got it all kinds of wrong coming out the right hand, and that gave Steven the drive, parked it on the inside, and the exact same move that we see Steven put on Grunewald not so long ago.
Thanks, Simon Moss. You could have given me one lap, but across the line, he's going to take the victory. Yours truly right on his tail. That's second place for me, and Graham Nathan will take third. No, only kidding. Nathan comes through for second. A brilliant drive there from Charles Smallberger to keep out the 3 Audis behind him of Michael Stephen, Henny Grunewald, and Gennaro Bonafide. All the way down in 7th place, Ryan Quanchai. He took the Class X victory ahead of Mark Dutoy, and then George Smallberger in 3rd. We caught up with Simon Moss with a much better run in race 2.
We're feeling really chuffed. Race 2 went really well for us as a team. I think this weekend's been a good step forward. It's been a long time coming, and I want to say thank you to my father and Mark for giving me the chance, and especially to Mark for helping me and showing me everything. And I think from this weekend, it's going to get a lot tighter.
Now we got 3rd race to sort things out now. Graham Nathan with the best run so far. Michael Stephen will look for another victory. Because remember what happens in race number 3 now. It's the fastest lap from race 1 that dictates how the grid is set up. Nice to see the Engen Extreme guys getting behind the race day and showing their customers here in KwaZulu-Natal what the Engen product is all about. Sassel fuel in the cars right now, ready to rock and roll, and Graham Nathan is the man to beat. Can he go and do it? See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, Rob. That's what it's all about. Cross the line, and it's Simon Moss with Formato. They've sorted that car out, so hopefully he'll be able to run a little bit higher up than what he did. But at the front end, keep an eye out as Michael Stephen goes to hunt for victory.
Yeah.
Look at Nathan putting pressure onto the Audi already.
Yeah, Greg, we saw in race number 1 when Michael Stephen was out front, that was it. The other drivers there, oh, look at this already, bashing from the Audis there down for 4th place, and he's pushed him wide.
Groenewald forcing Simon Moss, but Moss was giving it just as good as he was getting it. And the two of them came together. Moss lost out. Groenewald managed to maintain 3rd place. And in fact, all over the back of Nathan now, looking for a way through. Look at Nathan. Check in the rearview mirror. He knows he's in a battle now.
Oh, Greg, I absolutely love the undulation of this Dezzi race where you go up, you go down. And you really have to have your wits about you because it is so easy, especially to lose the back end as you get on the power over the undulation.
It's awesome, this circuit. It really is great racing, and it made for a spectacular race day, that is for sure. As they come through now, past the dam, heading up towards the southern loop. For Marto, trying to pull away from Charles Smallberger. Smallberger, in fact, under pressure there from Mark du Toit. He leads Class X with Cranchire in 2nd. A little bit further back, you'll see George Smallberger. Smallberger battling a little bit in the 2nd race and actually staying with me for a little bit. It was quite nice to have a bit of a battle.
Yeah, this race is all about Michael Stephen at the moment. He really is the man on the move. But Graham Nathan, we've seen him the whole day. He's got incredible pace, and look at the Audis using all the track and more to try and close down on that Golf GTR. But that man, Michael Stephen, is out front. And I was saying, Graham Nathan, he's had the pace all weekend. He just cannot make the passes.
Dictating the front end and, of course, making sure that no one gets past him is Michael Stephen right now. But as they go through the corkscrew section, his teammate all over the back and looking to make amends on Henny Groenewald.
Groenewald really wants to make amends. He's had an on-offish kind of day. Race number 2, he made that mistake and it allowed Michael Stephen past. And right now, he's not where he wants to be. He's got Nathan and a very fast Bonafide ahead of him.
Mark du Toit commanding the lead here in Class X, getting away from his teammate or Trans-Africa Racing's Z4 of Ryan Cranchire. But here they come. Look at this, Simon Moss putting massive pressure onto Groenewald. Groenewald soaking it up. There's no way you're going to find a way past on a multiple saloon car champion like Henny Groenewald, especially when he's in this kind of form now. As they come through the dam section, Moss is looking dangerous.
Greg, it just shows you what that reverse grid does. Simon Moss in race number 2 was at the front of the reverse grid and he was gone from the word go. Now he's battling down in 5th or 6th place. This man, Graham Nathan, he's had the pace. We've spoken about it a couple of times, but he just cannot find a way past those Audis.
I'm just loving the fact that at this point in the race, you can see things getting real close between the front wheel drives and the Quattro system cars. Incredible stuff there between that GTI and these 4 Quattro system Audis. S4 absolutely flat out into turn 1, all the way down into 3rd. You can see Nathan up, slowly but surely reeling in Bonafide. Bonafide looks like he might have a recurring issue and is losing some ground there to Nathan.
Bonafide really does not look happy in that car. He's running wide, he's running onto the dirt. He really is not a happy camper in that Audi. And Graham Nathan, you can hear that car begging for mercy. And look at Bonafide, he's run wide. That's going to square it up for Nathan. And can he make the move going up the hill?
Well, Nathan's got on the inside and he's got it perfect. He's going to miss the bump. Bonafide's going to hit the bump. There you can see just getting the bump and losing. And that's it, he's out. You can hear he's off the throttle completely. He's going to allow the other 2 Audis through. Gennaro Bonafide has got some problems.
Oh, not again. Bonafide is going to be hating this day. He's going to go park that car again for the 2nd time today. And Greg, you can see by that shot, the right, it looks like the right rear. In the last race, it was the left front. Now the right rear seems to have collapsed.
Looks like the suspension's broken on that car completely. This is Simon Moss's rear view as we head up towards the southern loop. There's no one in sight for him, but we're going to pick up on Bonafide. There he is. And an ailing Audi going into pit lane, possibly now for Gennaro Bonafide. He might stay out because there's still points to be grabbed. That's if he can drive that car in the condition it's in.
What that's done now is Graham Nathan is in 2nd place. He's got some clear road ahead of him to try and close down that gap on Michael Stephen. And it looks like he's already doing that.
Change up in Class X. Cranchire's at the front. There we go. The Audi's in, having a quick look to see what's gone wrong. I'm not quite sure if he's going to get back out again. Michael Stephen, though, has got no worries whatsoever. He's got a massive lead over Graham Nathan, and looks like it's all pretty much plain sailing to the flag.
This is the last lap, and it looks like he is going to pick up yet another win, and this is the battle on track for 3rd place. It doesn't look like Simon Moss has got an answer for Henny Groenewald at the moment, as we see Michael Stephen come. Not the greatest race number 2, but 2 victories on the day for the Engen Extreme man.
Comes across the line. Graham Nathan will be in 2nd place, beating out Henny Groenewald and Simon Moss. So Engen Extreme will be happy with a 1 and 4. A podium would have been a lot better. But there you can see confirmation of those results. Gary Fumato eventually down in 5th place, beating out Charles Smallberger, and Class X going to Ryan Cranchire, and he won out over Mark du Toit and Smallberger. As we head to the Mother City for the penultimate round, it's Michael Stephen who's got a 2-point lead advantage on Henny Groenewald. Bonafide with 22 points adrift, and Nathan still in with a shot there in 4th place.
certainly a challenging weekend. I think the toughest one for the year. So for championship, we're trying to consolidate and score as many as we could today in a difficult situation. So not unhappy that we could get some good points for Cecil and the Audi team.
A magnificent effort from the big man. He takes the overall victory at Dezzi.
We were a long way off the pace, but because of the production core equalization system, they sorted it out quite closely with the Audis and myself. We were, as I say, yesterday we were off the pace, but today the car went great. The team did a great job. Volkswagen product just did it for me again. Thanks very much to all the guys out there watching me and supporting me and looking after this car. Thank you very much.
3 victories for the Engen Extreme team. 2 of them went to Michael Stephen.
3 wins for the Engen Extreme team. I managed to win the first and the third one, and Simon, his first win in production cars in the second race, was also a brilliant job. So for the team, an absolutely brilliant day. It brings us right back into the championship fight. Just thanks to them, Engen Extreme, Terry Moss Racing, Audi, Tsogo's son, absolutely brilliant day. Couldn't have asked for more, and look forward to the next 2 rounds to come.
2 rounds to come and lots of action on and off the track as always at the Extreme Festival.